Programming is hard, and this can cause many beginners to give up way too quickly, but it doesn't have to be, and after learning these 5 things, I went from struggling to succeeding, and so can you. Alright, let's get started with the common one, and it sounds cliche, but it's honestly so important, and that is to learn by doing. If you find yourself constantly reading articles or watching videos without actually putting your fingers on the keyboard, then you, my friend, are stuck in what we call tutorial hell. Now, I'm not saying tutorials aren't good, they most certainly are, but they can only get you so far. A good rule to follow is the 80-20 rule, which means spend 20% of your time to learn the knowledge and 80% of your time on applying the knowledge. A good way to do this is by doing practice problems and projects. Not only will this help commit the knowledge to memory, but you will find yourself learning concepts that aren't even covered in the tutorials in the first place. Speaking of knowledge, this brings us on to lesson number 2. Whilst it is important to learn a programming language, don't spend your time jumping from one language to another. Once you've learned one language, picking up others and learning new syntax becomes easier and easier. What you should be doing is learning the concepts, theories, and principles behind programming, and then picking a language or technology where you can apply that knowledge. This includes learning how to break a problem down so that you can design a solution, knowing when to use a particular data structure or specific algorithm, understanding paradigms like procedural and object-oriented programming, and just applying good programming principles. Learning this knowledge and applying it in projects will improve your skills and help you build solutions that work, and work well. Next up, and this is one people don't talk about enough, but that is learn to read documentation. Every language, every package, every API has some form of documentation, and some are really good and some are really shit. But learning to read documentation is so important in developing your understanding of a particular technology and knowing how to use it effectively. Getting this right also helps in the next lesson, which is learn to debug. The reality is you're going to fail, and you're going to fail a lot. Every programmer knows the feeling of writing a program where you think you've done everything right just for your program to crash or function incorrectly, and then you spend the next few hours smashing your keyboard trying to find the issue. Learning to debug efficiently will deepen your understanding, help you avoid these issues in the future, and quickly get you back to the fun of seeing your code running successfully. Now, a common thing I see is programmers copying and pasting their code and the error into ChatGPT, and then applying whatever fix it spits out, which may or may not even work. Now, this is a great tool to find a solution quickly, but it is also so important, and I cannot stress this enough, you need to understand why the solution works, because quite frankly, anyone can copy and paste code without knowing how or why it works, and not knowing is not going to help you get any better. The final lesson that helped me improve was to make a plan. More specifically, making a step-by-step plan with a time frame. It is all well and good to say, I want to learn the C programming language, but it's better to say, I want to learn the C programming language in 6 months. And it's even better to break that down further and say in the first week I'll learn C data types, then in the second week I'll learn arrays, and then memory management and pointers, and so forth. This can help you to stop wasting time on deciding what to learn, but it also gives you a goal to strive for and a timeline to hold yourself accountable to. And it feels great ticking these things off as you go and seeing yourself make progress. So there we have it, 5 lessons that helped me to not suck at programming. If you want me to break any of these down further, then let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, get started on improving your skills right now by checking out this video on 3 programming principles that every programmer should know.